In a flood-hit village where volunteers have played such an important part, extra pairs of hands are always welcome. At Eton End Primary School, after a pre-dawn start, the Princes waded in to join a chain reinforcing flood defences. Buckingham Palace said they'd wanted to do what they could to support victims of flooding and to thank the armed forces personnel who'd helped to lift morale. The Queen is contributing feed and bedding from the Royal Farms at Windsor to farmers hit by flooding on the Somerset levels. It's the end of the working week along the Thames, 5 days when thousands tried to keep their lives on track and their emotions in check.
It doesn't matter about the fridge or the washing machine, that can be replaced, but stuff in here that you've built up.
When you travel in this direction, you really don't get a sense of the volume of water that's coming down the Thames. But if we now make a turn and head upstream, you can see the amount of power that we're having to use virtually to stand still. Now, this stretch of the Thames has fallen by about 9 inches over the last couple of days, but that's small comfort to the people who live here or who have had to move out. I visited the River Ash estate on Monday. Tonight, as I returned, Nikki Barber and her husband were loading their chemical toilet onto a canoe. With mains drains out of action, they have to empty it at her mother's home, just one element in a new routine.
In the morning, I'd go out with the dogs, but we've got 4 dogs, so only 2 will sit in the canoe. So we tow 2 out, come back, then do the next 2, come back, then I get changed, ready for work, go back out again.
On the flooded lane, we met Paul Sefton, home from work with supplies for his family. His triplets haven't been able to leave the house for 8 days.
Everyone phones every day to check whether we need supplies, people collect each other's post, and there's always a canoe if we need to get out or do anything.
Stuart McLaughlin has spent sleepless nights watching the water rise. Now, with levels falling, he's hoping to bring his family home.
And given that it was the worst flooding in, well, recorded history apparently, it's good, and we've made it through.
The Thames remains a threat, but perhaps, just perhaps, the worst is over. Robert Hall, BBC News, Shepperton.